Chapter 35. Before dinner, when it was still light, Bradley's father, bad leg and all, taught Bradley how to dribble. Bradley could hardly wait to show his friends. The next morning, when the bell rang for recess, everyone hurried outside, except Bradley. First, he had to put his paper neatly in his notebook. Then he had to mark his place in his book and put all the pencils in his pencil holder. Then he put everything away neatly in his desk. He rushed out the door. "Hello, Bradley," said Colleen. He stopped, cold. Colleen closed her eyes tightly, then opened them. With the determination of a Zen monk, she asked, "Would you like to come to my birthday party on Sunday?" Bradley stared at her. "Jeff will be there," said Colleen. "He's the only other boy. Everyone else will be girls. I would have invited you sooner, except I just found out when it was." Bradley nodded his head until his mouth worked. "Yes," he said. "Good," said Colleen, then scooted away. Bradley stared after her, then turned around in a circle as he tried to remember which way he was going. "Bradley," called Andy, "hurry up, we need you." He ran to the basketball court. He forgot everything he had learned about dribbling. "Is he coming?" asked Melinda. Colleen nodded. Laurie stuck out her tongue and screamed. "It'll be fun," said Melinda. "Bradley's not the same as he was. I think he's gotten better." "Oh, you can't come any more, Melinda," said Colleen. "Why not?" she asked, obviously hurt. "Because they're coming, and you beat them up." "But they started it." Colleen stared at her hands on her hips. She couldn't believe Melinda was being so unreasonable. "I thought I was your best friend," said Melinda. "You are," said Colleen. "But they're boys." "Oh, okay, you can come, but you better not cause any more trouble." "I thought I was your best friend," said Laurie. That night, Bradley lay in bed too excited to sleep. He couldn't wait until tomorrow when he'd see Carla again. He had so much to share with her, and it was all because of her magic book. He turned on the light above his head and read aloud to Ronnie and Bartholomew. They laughed whenever he did. "I just met Ace. He's my parents' lawyer. Guess what? He's crazier than my aunt and uncle put together. The first thing he said to me was, 'Do you like peanuts?' 'They're okay,' I answered. 'Good,' he said. He gave me a peanut and I ate it. 'Do you want another peanut?' he asked. I shrugged. So he gave me another peanut and I ate that one too. Big deal. 'You really must like peanuts a lot,' he said. I told you he was crazy. 'I want you to remember that,' he said. 'If anybody asks you, you really like peanuts a lot.' 'Okay, I really like peanuts a lot,' I said. And he gave me 3 more peanuts. 'Eat these.' I ate them. 'You just ate 3 peanuts in 5 seconds,' he said. 'Can you believe it?' He timed me. Tell me he isn't crazy." "He isn't crazy," laughed Ronnie. "Why is he making such a big deal over peanuts?" asked Bartholomew. "I don't know," said Bradley. There was a loud knock on his door. Then his father entered. "It's past your bedtime, Bradley," he said. "Okay," said Bradley. He reached for his light. "Oh, you were reading," his father noticed. "Well, that's all right then. You can stay up if you want to read." Bradley smiled once again. The magic book had kept him getting into trouble. "So what did the kids think of your dribbling?" "I forgot how," Bradley admitted. He hated to disappoint his father. "I guess we need to practice more," said his father. "Maybe this weekend I'll put up a black backboard on the garage," he said. He said goodnight and walked out of Bradley's room. "Come on, I want to hear about the peanuts," said Bartholomew. Bradley continued reading. "So then he asked me, 'Are you good at maths?' Well, I don't like to brag, but maths happens to be my best subject." "Big deal." "Okay, here's a math problem for you," he said. "If you can eat 3 peanuts in 5 seconds, how long would it take for you to eat 50,000 peanuts?" I got out a pencil and paper and figured it out. About 23 hours and 9 minutes. "That's less than a day, isn't it?" he asked. "Yes," I said. "There are 24 hours in a day." He's supposed to be my parents' lawyer, and he doesn't even know how many hours there are in a day. "Remember that," he told me. "If anybody asks you, you can eat 50,000 peanuts per day." I laughed. Who would ask me that? The police. The chapter ended there. Chapter 36. Bradley giggled as he walked to Carla's office for his regular scheduled appointment. He couldn't wait to tell her all that had happened to him. She'll be so happy, he thought. She was waiting for him in the hall just outside her office, but before she could say anything, he beat her to it. "Hello, Carla," he said. "It's a pleasure to see you today. I appreciate coming to see you." She smiled. "The pleasure is mine," she replied. He laughed. He got a kick out of being polite. They shook hands and went inside to the round table. She was wearing a dark blue shirt, almost black, with little white stars on it. She looked like night time. "So what's new?" she asked. He opened his mouth, but nothing came out. He didn't know why, but for some reason he didn't want to tell her. "What's new with you?" he asked. "With me?" asked Carla. "Nobody's ever asked me that before." "You're always asking me what's new," he said. "Why can't I ask you?" "You can," she replied. "You can ask me anything you want." "Let me see. What's new? I bought a new shower curtain yesterday, but that doesn't sound like very interesting news, does it?" "What colour?" "Oh, sort of beige. I don't know. It doesn't really have a colour." "That's a good colour," said Bradley. "It sounds beautiful." "It's okay," said Carla. "What happened to your old shower curtain?" he asked. "It's starting to get a little rotten," said Carla. "Was it also beige?" No," said Carla. "I think it was yellow when it was new, but it was sort of greenish brown when Colin invited me to a birthday party," he blurted. Then it all came pouring out of him. "Jeff's invited too. We'll be the only boys there. Everyone else will be girls. Jeff and I are friends now. The other guys like me too. We play friends basketball together. At first I was afraid to shoot the ball, but then everybody said, 'Shoot, Bradley, shoot,' so I shot and made it. Everyone was amazed, so was I. I still miss a lot more than I make, but I'm better. Everyone says so. My father taught me how to dribble. He's going to put a basket over the garage. At first they wanted to beat me up, but I said, 'Hello, Jeff,' and he said, 'Hello, Bradley.' And then Andy asked me if I wanted to play basketball. Then Colin asked me to her birthday party, and I said yes. And she said good. She would have asked me sooner, except she just found out when she was born." Fortunately, Carla had heard most of it already, otherwise she wouldn't have understood a thing he said. "It's all because of you," said Bradley. "You did it, Bradley, not me. It was your magic book." "My book? What's that got to do with—" "Bradley, what's wrong?" He was crying. 1 second he was beaming about her magic book, and the next he was sobbing and shaking all over. "Bradley!" He covered his face with his hands, and tears spilled out of his eyes. "What is it?" asked Carla. "What's happened?" He shook his head. Carla rose from the table, got a box of tissues, and placed it in front of him. He pulled out a tissue but didn't use it. "I've never been to a birthday party," he blubbered. Then he hiccuped. "Not a real one, where other kids are there." He hiccuped again and then blew his nose. "A long time ago, when I was in the 3rd grade, I went to one, but then they made me go home because I sat on the cake." "Well, you're a lot smarter now than you were when you were in 3rd grade," said Carla. "But I don't remember what to do," Bradley whined. "Do I have to bring my own chair?" "Why would you have to bring your own chair?" "For musical chairs. That's why I sat on the cake. I got mad because there was no place else to sit." He sniffled. "Will there be ice cream?" "Do you like ice cream?" "What if they don't have enough for me? What if they only have enough for everyone else? And what about pin the tail on the donkey?" "You don't have to bring your own donkey," said Carla. He laughed through his tears. "But what if I stick it in a bad place?" "You want to know what I think?" asked Carla. "I think you're a little overwhelmed by all that has happened to you. It scared you. You think you're Cinderella." "Cinderella?" he repeated and laughed again. "You're Cinderella, and you've just been invited to the ball, and now you're afraid that right in the middle of Colin's birthday party, everything will suddenly turn into a pumpkin." He wiped his eyes on his tissue. "You're afraid of all the good things that happened will suddenly disappear. You're afraid everyone will stop liking you. But this isn't a fairy tale, Bradley. Your friends like you for who you are. My book wasn't magic. The magic is in you." "Do I have to bring her a present?" he asked. "You don't have to do anything," said Carla, "but it's a nice thing to do, don't you think? Colin invited you to a birthday party because she likes you, and you give her a present because you like her and because you want her to help celebrate her birthday." "What should I get her? Should I get her a doll? Is that what girls like?" "I don't know. Everyone likes different things. Give her something you like. If you like it, then she probably will. Give her a gift from the heart." "How about a shower curtain?" he asked. "If it comes from the heart," said Carla. He smiled. When it was time for him to return to class, Carla said, "I enjoyed our visit very much. Thank you for sharing so much with me." "The pleasure was mine," he replied. He had been waiting to say that.